Hello everyone and welcome to the program Midday, Discourse on Global Television. My name is Samuel Odi, and for those of us back to work, welcome back from your holidays. Hope you had a good time with friends, family, and you had a lot of fun activities. So now let's get into it. On today's edition of the program, we will be discussing the plans or the negotiations plans from the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has stated he would be negotiating with the federal government on his trial. Let me bring you up to speed with what has been going on. And the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has said he would seek negotiation with the federal government. So this is coming up from yesterday. His 6 negotiations with the federal government over his ongoing trial. Kanu, speaking through his lead counsel, Aloy, told the federal government, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday, that he would be seeking the negotiation under Section 17 of the High Court Act. The Act states in any proceeding in the court may promote reconciliation among parties thereto and encourage and facilitate the amicable settlement thereof. Our Lord had earlier moved 2 applications brought before the court. The first application is to move from 49 and an application objecting to the jurisdiction of the court. Kanu's lawyer said if the applications are denied, his clients will move for the implementation of Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act. Responding, counsel of the federal government, Adebanyoga, told the court that he earlier informed that the defendant that he does not have the powers to negotiate on behalf of the federal government. He stated that the defendant should approach the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SNA San, who has the powers to negotiate on behalf of the federal government. Responding to this development, President Judge Justice Binta Neko said that the court has not a solicitor but to hear only cases. The detained IPOB leader has been in DSS custody since June 2021 after he was arrested in Kenya. Since his arrest, he has been facing terrorism-related charges labeled against him by the federal government. Yes, so this has been the updates from yesterday, and Nnamdi Kanu wishing via his lead counsel that he wants to have a negotiation with the federal government because I'm guessing he's tired of the whole back and forth and wants to regain freedom. So we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, I would be introducing my guests, and we'll get deep into the conversation. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Is the desk on global television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. Can we not say that again? Because
that this country gets it right.
who are these bandits?
It's the Dex on global television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on global television. Let's stay on the Dex.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, the show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story.
Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jermaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and a repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
With every government and introduction of new policies,
Many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television. My name is Samuel Odi, and at this hour I have my guest in the studio with me, Mike Edikan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Samuel, for having me on your program.
Yes, so we're looking at the negotiation of Nnamdi Kanu with the federal government. Now, are we saying he's now bending to the law of the federal government? What's your reaction to him asking for negotiation?
Yeah, it has been a long time coming, because when you look at the fact that over time he has been in detention of DSS and the custody of the fact that they haven't given him a lot of freedom. The case has been a back and forth issue with the federal government. Even when he has, come out to say, I'm not the one against, I'm not sponsoring some of these agitations like killing of soldiers in Abia State and other southeastern state. And for federal government to detain him, they just wanted to get so much of security information. They've actually done the gathering. But the question was, why are you still detaining him? Why are you still keeping him? Because this has also have a ripple effect in the southeast. It has increased more agitation agitations. A lot of people are still going about agitating for the release of their leader and also agitating for their own creation of their own country and all of that. So when you look at these issues, it needed diplomacy away from federal government trying to exercise their power as the federal government to deter. What more can you do? Because in the moment when you understand that this is a very sensitive issue, it's a security issue. A lot of soldiers have been killed in the process of getting this. A lot of civilians' lives have been gone on. Commercial businesses have been shut down on Monday because of the sit-at-home. So when you look at that, this is a critical issue, and you must be able to deploy, instrument of good negotiations to get these things arrested. So I think it's a way to go for me, because the moment where it's being negotiated on the table, what do you want? What is the issue? What is really your interest? Because it might see the fact that it's a time for the federal government to start looking at the issues of the Southeast. What are they really agitating for? Because it seems the federal government are not paying attention to what they're agitating for. They are not paying attention to their demand. They are not paying attention to their cry and all of that. These people are simply saying that since the creation of the country, we've not had the opportunity to produce a presidency. Can't we have a negotiation? Can't we start having a discussion and deliberations and a movement towards this dimension? We saw that in 2023 elections, we were seeing the fact that Peter Obi emerged at Labour Party, and it was as if the People's Democratic Party will also vote the seat of the presidency to the south. At the end of the day, it was micro-zoned to, it was open for everybody to contest. It's only APC that was able to micro-zone it to the south and all of that. So all of these has to start the fact that even the political parties have to also start, showing the body language, that this is the way to go. We want Southeast to produce a presidency. We want to start giving them answers to a lot of questions they've asked for several years. This is not agitation that just started today, mind you, because these are something that have over times and decades, I've always been on the table. So for me, the negotiation out of court settlement by the Nnamdi and the federal government is a way to go to be able to calm down the situation right there in the Southeast.
Let's look at it from this angle of politics now. Do you think this Nnamdi Kanu's detention is in line, it's political?
Absolutely, because when you know that, away from the fact that what they are really amplifying, the message that are amplifying is political freedom. So the moment where you understand that people are looking for political freedom, it doesn't in any way goes down well with the federal government, because the federal government has seen the unity of the country, that Nigeria is one. So the government owes it as a responsibility to protect lives and properties of the people within the sovereign nations. So what the display of the fact that the detention by Buhari's administration, and the wrong management of Buhari administrations of this issue was political. But at the end of the day, you understand that every political actors have interest. The federal government have an interest to what they were doing. The IPOB also have their interest. So is the interest of federal government more than the IPOB, or is the interest of the IPOB more than the federal government? These are the issues that must be critically discussed. So we've seen many a times the southeastern leaders who are very close to the major political parties, sometimes agitating for their own personal interests and not also aligning with the IPOB agitation and all of that. And sometimes we've seen the reactions of the people who are saying, "Oh, you are not with us. We are agitating for our freedom, but it seems you are not sharing in applied. You are not sharing in what we are agitating for and all of this." So it is a sure of the fact that that is what the people want. And the moment where you don't pay attention to what the people want, it seems you're only listening to what the political elite are saying. You are only listening to what the political class whose interests are well just protected are saying. There will always be crisis, because if it's not well managed, we always have picture of IPOBs killing soldiers, killing the police forces, and all of those issues. So it's a political issue. But in the political move, there are mechanisms of settling political tensions. There are mechanisms that federal government must deploy. You are the leader, the president. You are the commander of the armed forces. You have all the apparatus in your hands. Because when you look at how are these people able to gather a lot of funds, to be carried out this act for over a year. So you look at the fact that they are being sponsored. These are the people behind. These are people behind it. So it is not just about the boys and the miscreants who are on the street killing soldiers. It's about who are those that are financing this movement, who are those that are sponsoring this movement, who are those behind this movement. So these are the questions that federal government must know. Beyond what we are seeing, there's something behind that must be paid attention to. So it's a big political issue, and it's like an ideology. And you know one thing about the ideology: people who were even born, the younger generations, are sharing on the sentiment of what their fathers are sharing. So it's like a movement. That the fact that you can't even kill everyone, you can't kill everyone at the same time, because it is an ideological movement that over times has spanned over years and decades, transferring from one generation to the other. So federal government must be able to sit down at the table, go to them, speak in the language that they will understand, let them see reasons with you, show by example, give the Southeast, a chance, if that might also calm the situation in the country, to rule the country, so that at the end of the day, everyone can actually, proudly call Nigeria.
Okay. The negotiation is actually focused on Nnamdi Kanu's release and dropping of terrorism charge, and the federal government's commencement to address the grievances of the Igbo people, like you've rightly mentioned, about giving them a fair chance to rule their fatherland. And the issues now of terrorism, Nnamdi Kanu has actually come out just yesterday to decline and say he's not aware of any kinds of killing and he's not in support of any kind of killing, and he is also agitating that the indigenous people of Biafra wasn't created on the form of violence. So it's just being created for some Igbos to have their own nation. So now, despite coming out and having all of these comments, do you think that these charges of him being a terrorist is going to be dropped, because that's part of the negotiations that his council and himself are putting on the table for the federal government? Yeah,
it's a treasonable event. I mean, and for the moment, with the fact that you are challenging the peace of the country, you're challenging the peace of the sovereignty, federal government or the government itself will not take it lightly. But let me quote the words of their former leader, Chumemeka Ojukwu, who said, "There's nothing wrong with Nigeria's unity, but it depends on the kind of unity, not the unity of Jonah in the whale's belly, which didn't suit Jonah because he was in captivity."
Yes.
So we're talking of unity. We're talking of the fact that these are the people who feels they are marginalized. We're talking of the fact that these are people who feels, it seems the country is not, favorable to them. So it seems they are slaves in the country. It seems that they have been rejected. It seems they have been deprived. It seems, there is something that is going on wrong. And so they are asking this question. So for the fact that Nnamdi has been, linked to terrorism, because for the fact that you've been killing soldiers, you're killing men on uniform. So if no apparatus of government can take it lightly. You cannot, even in the Western war, you can't fight against the military and go back free. So why are these people taking laws to their hands? Why are we still having federal government deploying security agencies to this area when they know that they haven't resolved the many issues that is causing all of these rifts? So it is not just enough for you to declare a group, of terrorists. It's not enough for you to start making such a declaration or pointing fingers or who is wrong or not. It is but the fact that you are able to sit down to address the issue away from just going after, the many results or whatever, the multiple effect of the issue. Yes. Why can't you just start dealing with the issue from the grassroots? Why can't you just start paying attention? Because it's a long time coming. It has been the process of over time, the agitation of over time. What is the ideology? What do these people really perceive about the country? What do they really think about Nigeria's unity? Just as Ojukwu said, because there's one thing for you to have a freedom, or you feel you are not totally free. So it is an issue of priority. It's an issue of paying attention to the demands of these people, because if it's not well addressed, we'll always have the repetition of this agitation over and over again. So the federal government must know that it's a good, fantastic move for Nnamdi to accept the negotiation, but they must begin to pay back to it, because even after he's been released, they've granted him bail over time, but the DSS still hold him hostage because they feel we can't let him go. It took government a lot to be able to get him. So it is a right play of games, but I feel when they begin to answer the right question, begin to provide answers to the questions, these will be the steps we feel that the federal government will be able to handle all of this scenario.
Yeah, Nnamdi Kanu, I've talking about how he was arrested. We were meant to understand that he was arrested in Kenya, and which Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team came out to say he was smuggled into Nigeria illegally. So let's look at it from this angle now. what political means can be used now to settle this agitation and then have Nnamdi Kanu walk away freely and then also have peace? Because the bottom line now is we want to have peace in the Southeast, not just in the Southeast, but we want to have peace all over the country. So what political approach would be best for this situations, this crisis we have at hand now to be settled?
It's a clear picture of People's Democratic Party coming together, APC coming together, Labour Party coming together, the five major political parties coming together for the 2027 election. The body language will be, we are microzoning the office of the presidency to the Southeast. That will be the beginning of the steps. You know, for the fact that you've declared, because you cannot be the president of this country, because it's about political interests. These are the people who feel they have been marginalized over time.
Yes.
So what can you do? It's the fact that even the political parties themselves start showing the example. So it is about microzoning from the party, you know, the position of the presidency to this region. Exclusively for them. At that level, they feel these are the way to go. Because the moment where we've seen that some political parties will get to throw it open, you know, for the survival of the faith. You know the politics that goes on, you know, at the party primaries. At the end of the day, they do not emerge. And even when they do to emerge, look at what Peter Obi did. You know, for the fact that he couldn't get the ticket from the People's Democratic Party, he went to the Labour Party, and the wave was still strong. 80-90% of the southeastern people voted for Peter Obi for the, but you know, away from just having the southeast voting for you, you need the vote of other region, you need the support of other, you know, part of this country to vote for you. So it's not just a one-sided issue. So the political move, the steps to addressing this politically is the fact that political parties themselves will start showing that we want this to be settled. And how do you show this? It's about the fact that doing your party primaries, you are able to call stakeholders involved. Look at the issue of your political party. Look at the issue of the political, you know, presidency of this country. We've not had these people, you know, we've seen that fine, fantastic. They may argue that we've had them as Senate President, we've had them of other arms of government, we've had them of this. But that's not the interest of the want. What they want is that they want the president from the Southeast. So the moment you are microzoning your office, I mean the office of the president to this region, you are in the way of giving the picture, you know, giving a description of the fact that you are ready for Nigeria's unity. That is the only way they can begin to perceive the Nigeria's unity in that regard. So it must start from there. Once it starts from there, we can then be able to, you know, resolve the issue. Because at the end of the day, you see that we still have competent people, you know, in this region. So it's about the party, the political parties showing by example, starting the fight themselves to get this freedom for the people of Southeast.
Let's say the political parties now come together. What role now does INEC have to play in terms of succeeding and making sure that the votes of the people count and not have issues with beavers as they always do?
No, that is what I said. It wasn't just about maybe APC microzoning to Southeast. I said the major political parties who are always, you know, futuristic of producing a president. Are doing these actions by themselves, microzoning to the Southeast. The role of INEC is to conduct election. For instance, whosoever APC will bring at the end of the day, whosoever PDP will bring at the end of the day, whosoever Labour Party will be at the end of the day, will be at the poll. Nigerians generally will now get to vote whosoever the parties have been able to produce. So at that level, we know that whosoever emerge is a Southeasterner. At that level, we know that we are choosing the best out of the many candidates that are from the Southeast, you know, to be the president. So it should show by that example, and that's the way to go.
There has been a whole lot of reports, possibly solutions would obviously come out in the coming days, and we just hope that everything gets aligned, and we all are just clamoring for one simple thing is for peace and sustainability and growth of our beloved nation, Nigeria. So let's look at this angle now. You know, what do you think should be the final note now or take for Nnamdi Kanu if these negotiations, if they get to settle out of court? Should he go ahead leading the IPOB, or he should just, you know, decline and just stay away from, you know, stay away from the cost of wanting Nigeria to be divided?
The clarion call for Nnamdi Kanu to know that, you know, everything is not about war. It's not by force. You know, sometimes you deploy other mechanisms to get your interests resolved. So for the fact that there is the room for diplomacy, there is room for negotiation. Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB, whosoever the sponsors of IPOB, you know, those behind IPOB should now come to the table with the federal government to negotiate for a lasting, you know, solution to all of this. Because if they still want to go the path of war, for instance, if it's been released for right now, and it happens to go back to still agitate or still sponsor or still have a way of being linked to the agitations of these people, it is simply sure that whatever the gentleman understanding that you wanted to have with the federal government is of no use.
Yes.
So now that you've started the path of negotiation, now that you've started the path of trying to negotiate with them to get a lasting solution to this issue, stay by that, negotiate better with them, see how you can be able to bury all your hearts on the table so that federal government can start paying attention to getting these things done. Because at the moment when you feel that there are ways of even getting freedom, there are ways of getting your own country, you don't get it by force. You don't get it by forcing people to join your movement.
Just like what is happening between Russia and Ukraine.
So you don't force it, you don't impose it on people. People, it has to pass through the process. It has to be the fact that people believe in this ideology generally, and even you are convinced enough that this is what really you want. But it's about sectionalism, because even if you go to the south, there are people who still believe in Nigeria. There are still people who believe that Nigeria is together must be one. So get this done, address this situation, see how you can negotiate with them, and then have a lasting solution to all of this agitation. That's my take.
Mr. Mike Edikan, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program. And that's how much time will permit us to take today on today's edition of the program. And we'll be calling the curtain and drawing the curtain at this hour. I'll see you all tomorrow with another exciting edition of the program. Do have a lovely day ahead. Good afternoon.